yourselves for a battle of epic proportions between two titans. Feast upon their voices and revel in their words. This is Dueling Ogres.
Hello, Ogres, and welcome to episode 212. Thank you for joining us as always on this Bonostic Tuesday evening, Earth date June 8th, 2021. I'm your host, Remington Hitchcock, and with me as always my co-host, Brandon Full. Say hello, Brandon.
Aw shit, it's me and Rem, back again. Hi, Rem.
I wish I was better at, ad-libbing rhymes, because I'm not, and I couldn't follow you up, and now I feel like a huge disappointment.
I'm disappointed, but I didn't want to say anything.
Well, that's what makes you a good friend.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to say something, I would say that you're a failure and that you've let me down over and over and over in our friendship. But I'm not going to say that because I'm a good friend.
Yeah, but I feel like if you did say that, then you'd be a great friend. So now who's disappointing whom?
Damn it.
I've run rings around you logically.
What is that from? We've quoted that since high school. Do you know what it is? Is it a Monty Python thing?
Yeah, it's a Monty Python sketch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Monty Python holds up?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think if you like weird, quirky British humor, I mean, there's no other place to go, really.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong with it.
Let's see, what was the other one? The ones who did... around that time, there was a lot of kind of comedy troupes that were coming out of those British colleges and whatnot. And what was the one that Rowan Atkinson was in?
I don't remember. I've seen a lot of Blackadder, which Rowan Atkinson was in, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, Blackadder was what I was thinking of, but I thought that they had a name for their little band because it was Rowan Atkinson. There was Hugh Laurie, made a lot of appearances in there. Yeah. And those are the only two that I can remember right off the top of my head. I liked Blackadder, but it wasn't what I grew up on. I came into that after being firmly set in the Monty Python camp.
I started watching Blackadder when I was unemployed and I had Netflix.
Yeah. And
it was just one of those things I could watch episode after episode of.
Right.
And I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I would because I was kind of iffy on Rowan Atkinson, but he really grew on me after I started watching it.
Yeah. If the only thing of Rowan Atkinson that you've been exposed to is Mr. Bean, and you didn't care much for Mr. Bean, then it's kind of hard to give him the chance of not being Mr. Bean.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Bean is its own thing that you either love or hate, I feel like.
Yeah, or love or at least not care about.
I only deal in absolutes, Remington.
That's true. You have
either
no
love something
in-betweens.
Or I hate it.
Yeah.
Nope.
So how have you been?
I've been pretty good. Pretty good. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14, the MMO, and I realized that I absolutely love MMOs. I never got into WoW as much as I have with Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much to do. Every time you get to a new city, it's 8 new quests open up for you to do.
Yeah, WoW is a little harder to get into in that regard because it feels like there's just only so many different kinds of quests that they have, especially when you're first starting up. If you're starting a brand new toon. They really tried to spice it up during Cataclysm, and I think that they did to a certain extent. I mean, that was when they were introducing a lot of scenarios and world events and that sort of thing, stuff that they weren't really able to do beforehand because the technology wasn't in place to do so.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing that you have to keep in mind about WoW is that for the longest time, it was running on the same engine that it had been from the get-go. So they really had to retool the inner workings of World of Warcraft to do some of the stuff that other MMOs were pioneering.
Yeah, I mean, like you had Ultima Online was a big MMO and EverQuest, but WoW really seems like it's the one that took off.
Yeah. EverQuest was really, really popular for a long while,
Yeah.
but just never to the level that World of Warcraft was.
The thing about Final Fantasy 14 that I'm loving is my computer, my graphics card isn't the greatest graphics card, but it's pretty good. And it just runs Final Fantasy flawlessly. Whenever it rains, you can see like the wetness on your clothes. And whenever you go through water, depending on how deep the water is, when you get out, the water line that you are at is wet on your clothes and the rest of it's dry. It's such a beautiful game.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that yeah, a game like WoW is missing. Like you don't see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, WoW, like you said, is so old at this point that it would take a lot for them to actually implement stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was just a few years ago. It was a huge deal that they were redrawing character models and modernizing them.
Weren't people upset about that too?
Oh, I mean, there were some, but I think they just basically put a little tick box that was like, okay, if you want to run around with old characters, you can. There's never pleasing anybody, especially in a game that's so popular.
Oh, absolutely. But besides playing Final Fantasy, I also started a new job.
Yay!
Yay for me! I started
Yeah.
working at Jurassic Park.
Well, you make sure that you're careful.
Yeah, I'm the
Uh,
low end of the totem pole at this point, so I'm basically just slinging meat,
oh
if you know what I
man,
mean.
yeah, I do, 100%. Just don't get caught with your pants down on the toilet during a T-Rex attack, okay?
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Was he in an outhouse when he got caught? Or was it like an actual bathroom?
That is an excellent question.
From what I remember, the walls all fell down while he was in there. And so he was
Uh,
just sitting on a toilet.
hang on. Okay, so yeah, I just watched the video of it, and it was like a multi-stall outhouse.
You would think that Jurassic Park, with as much money as they brought in, would be able to afford actual bathrooms out there instead of just outhouses, you know?
Yeah, I mean it was a bathroom, but like the way that the movie portrayed it, it probably would not have been built the way it was. It was like a thatched roof bathroom that you could like
Okay.
throw up yourself in a matter of a day by collecting like sticks and twigs and shit. There was like
I mean,
a wooden base around it, and I imagine that was, you know, to make it easier for the T-Rex model to push through and break it apart, but
yeah.
even still.
I don't want to talk bad about my current employer, you know? I don't want to get
Yeah.
in trouble.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, it's improved tremendously now, right? And you get to work at least close to Chris Pratt.
Oh, yeah, he's there all the time, trying to convert the dinosaurs to Christianity.
I love it. Well played.
He calls it the Velociraptor.
That was really good. Right off the top of your head?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, nice.
So, what have you been up to?
That's an excellent question.
Thank you. Are you going to answer it, or
No, I'm just gonna
saying
let
it
you.
was an
I'm
excellent
just gonna
question?
let you swing in the wind, buddy.
Okay, I appreciate it, man.
Now, I was trying to think of what I've been doing. I finally got back into the website and did a few things to. Our store wasn't working. Not that it mattered anyway, because nobody buys any of our stuff. But if they wanted to, they wouldn't have been able to anyway.
Yeah.
So I had to make a couple of tweaks in there, and I finally got around to getting in there and figuring out what the problem was and fixing that. So now, if you want some fantastic Dueling Ogres merch, you can go to duelingogres.com/bazaar, and it'll take you to our shop. That's Bazaar,
You can buy
not
T-shirts
Bizarre.
and socks.
Yeah, stickers, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, listeners. The stickers aren't a particularly good value. Like $5, and then another $5 for shipping, so it's like $10 for a sticker.
For one sticker?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, kind of lame. Or you can just write me, and I have a bunch of stickers that are like the Dueling Ogre stickers. Just send me an email and I'll send you one.
I like the socks that we have.
Yeah, the socks are really cool. I think they're super cute.
Yeah.
And you know, the people I use a company called Printful, and it's print on demand, so but they've released a few new products. Like I really want to get they have a steel water bottle that you can get printed, or that you can print stuff on.
And it only costs $400.
And it only costs $400. It's a real steal.
Yeah, so if you want to support us, go to duelingogres.com/bazaar and drop $400 on a steel water bottle.
Yeah, that doesn't exist yet. Now I'm gonna have to go in and make it, you asshole.
Make sure to price it at $400 because nobody's gonna buy that anyway.
Dude, I'm 100% gonna price it at $400 just for shits and giggles.
Okay, perfect.
And then I'll put it on sale for like 90% off.
So if you buy, I'm going to say this now, if you buy the $400 steel Dueling Ogres water bottle,
I'll send you a sticker for free.
You gain control of the podcast.
Now I'll send you a sticker for free.
See, we went in two different directions.
Yeah. What the hell are you doing? Don't get rid of our podcast. You know they'll just muck it up, Brandon.
Yeah, it won't be the gold that this podcast is already.
The gold standard of podcasting that is Dueling Ogres. What's that? I have to wait another month and a half for an episode to come out? I can't wait.
So yeah, should we address the length of time between episodes?
I think we have on multiple occasions, but we will again. I get tired.
Yeah.
That's really what it boils down to. I work at a UPS store, and you know, it's an 8-hour day of walking around and packing a whole bunch of stuff and talking to people and doing print jobs, and there's just a ton of little minutia things that you have to keep track of in your head. And by the time that I come home, 9 times out of 10, I'm just physically and mentally drained, and all I want to do is make dinner, watch a show with Ginger, come upstairs, watch YouTube for like an hour, and then go to sleep.
Yeah.
So, does that make me lazy? Yes. Am I apologetic that I don't have the energy to edit the podcast in a quick and fast manner? Yes. But, you know, it is what it is.
I can't throw all the blame on you because I was supposed to start editing this last episode. I think at the end of the episode, we even talked about how I was going to start editing it, and I haven't. But with this next episode, for sure, I'm going to start editing once we get it all in the Google Drive and everything.
I mean, once it finishes uploading, do you just want to open it up and we'll start it off?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. If you have a little bit of time.
I have all the time in the world.
We're both off today.
Yeah.
And it's only 3:40.
3:38 actually, but
I mean,
who's counting?
I round to the nearest 10, you fucking stickler. Stickler. Write to me, Stickly, P.O. Box 963. Sorry.
New York City, New York State,
10108.
10108. I wonder what would happen if you wrote to Stickly now. Didn't
I
they
don't
bring him
know.
back a few years ago?
They did, and I think it was a different address, and it didn't flow nearly as well.
They brought him back and he had long hair, I think.
I don't know. I mean, even still, that would have been like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
At this
Man,
point.
getting old is weird. Everything is just years and years ago.
It is, and it feels like it was still yesterday, and you have no concept of time. That's let's say that that's another problem of the podcast thing. Like, I feel like we just recorded like a couple weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah. And
Because
then I
I have-
downloaded the episode once you released it, and it was like, thank you for joining us as always on this April 24th. And I was like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what can we say? We're a two-man team.
Exactly.
I'll just start
Except for
paying
when we
somebody
have
to do
Chad
it.
on.
Well, yeah, but I mean, whenever we have somebody else on, they're more just a glorified guest star, right?
Yeah, but I would say that Chad is our unofficial third.
Oh yeah?
I would say so. I would
Unofficial third or
put that
unofficial
out there.
fourth? Because it's really kind of a toss-up between him and Bucky, in my opinion.
Yeah, but Bucky sucks.
Aw. Aw. Poor Bucky. Every time we just take a poop on him. The great
He's
thing
got to
he's
go
into
through his
that.
paces.
That's right. We have known Chad for a whole lot longer.
Yeah, we were shitty to Chad in high school sometimes, so he's already gone through the
He's paid his
gauntlet of
dues.
Brandon and Remington. Yeah.
Once again, we are horrible friends.
Do you ever think back on how we were in high school and regret how shitty we were to people?
I don't think so, because I don't know how shitty you were to other people outside of our group, but I think we were all just pretty well shitty to each other.
Yeah, that's true. I feel guilty about it sometimes.
But then again, I was always that guy who was like the chameleon, because we went to a relatively small high school, and half the time you went over to the did you go to the Caperton Center, or did you go to the other one?
I went to the Caperton Center, the college, so I took college courses.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, half the week you were leaving on a bus to go to the Caperton Center. Or was it every day at a certain time? I don't remember.
It was every day at noon.
Yeah. So, like, we'd have lunch and then you'd take off to the Caperton Center. I was constantly at the high school because I am not smart. But anyway, to taking college classes in high school, who the hell do you think you are, fucking Bill Gates over here? Anyway.
Well, you've graduated college and I've dropped out 3 times.
Touche. I was always the chameleon where we had a relatively small high school and there were like jocks and stoners and rednecks and nerds, and I would just hang out with anybody.
You got along pretty well with the redneck crowd.
Well, the kid who lived beside of me was very redneck, so I mean, I'd hang out with a lot of his group of friends at certain parts of the day, and then I'd play hacky sack outside after school with the stoners, and then I'd go to the football games or at least the home games, because there was always a dance afterward, and I loved going to the dances.
Yeah, I used to DJ the dances.
Yeah, me too. But also, I enjoyed going to the football game and just being loud and cheering on the team, even though I didn't honestly care if we won or lost.
I was in marching band, so I was always at the football games in the stands as a marching band member. And to this day, I still don't understand how football works.
Right?
That's not like a joke. I legitimately don't understand how football works.
No, me either. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Ginger watches football when it's football season. There's usually a game on, and I'll sit down and watch it, but I couldn't tell you what specifically a tight end does.
Oh, I can tell you what a tight end does.
I can tell you what a tight ass can do, Brandon.
What can it do, Remington? Go ahead and tell me. It can make really, really long, solid poops.
Like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
All right, once we start doing impressions, I think that's the symbol in the sky. That's our bat signal that we should start talking about stories.
All right, fine. What do you got?
What would you do, Remington, if you had
For a Klondike bar?
$300,000?
Anything.
My God. If you had
Well,
$300,000 to blow, like
okay.
not to pay bills, you were given it and somebody said you can use this money, but only on something for yourself, nothing to do with bills or house payments or stocks or anything like that.
Well, I
What
mean,
would
stocks,
you buy with your $300,000?
to be fair, stocks would be still for myself, I feel like.
Yeah, but you're boring, and I'm trying to get you to not say stocks because you're going to be like, well, I'd invest my money into this, and hopefully I would get a return, and blah, 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 blah. I'm sucking my own dick.
I mean, that's fun to me though. Like, why would you shoehorn me into your definition of fun?
I'm taking a big shot of my own jizz right in the mouth.
That's unnecessary and uncalled for.
I'm buying stocks and tasting my own seed.
I muted
Is that
myself
too
so
far?
I muted myself so I could take a drink and almost got a spit take.
So you would buy stocks with it, you think?
Well, I mean, I would probably use some of it for it, yeah. I might take a trip.
Where would you go? Somewhere in Europe?
Yeah. Get our
So what you're telling me... Oh, go ahead.
we'd get our passports or Ginger's renewed, and I'd get mine and just go take a trip. We'd go to Egypt or something.
I wouldn't go to Egypt right now.
Well, I mean, I'd just go to the pyramids specifically.
Oh, okay.
Because Ginger really enjoys Egyptian mythology, so.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. She did let me borrow that book on Egypt mythology, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
See, what I would buy, Remington, with $300,000.
What would you buy with $300,000, Brandon? I feel like you were just trying to set me up to ask you.
Yeah, I was.
Sorry, man.
I would go on eBay.
I don't care
And I
what
would
you
buy-
do with your money.
Oh, well, okay. So what do you have for stories then, Remington?
I know. What were you gonna buy? Come on, Brandon.
go
I'm
on-
just saying.
I would go on eBay, Remington, and I would buy a 24-karat gold-plated Wii that was made for Queen Elizabeth II.
What? What the
Yup.
fuck does that even mean?
There was a 24-karat gold-plated Wii that Nintendo, I think it was Nintendo or maybe one of their subsidiaries, but somebody big made a 24-karat gold-plated Wii for Queen Elizabeth II to give to her, and she refused it.
Well, yeah, because she's not a gamer.
So now it is being sold on eBay with a buy it now price of $300,000.
I mean, that's is there $300,000 worth of gold in it? I feel like that's an important question to ask.
Probably not. Here, I can send you a picture of it though.
Okay, that's a CR download file, Brandon.
I right-clicked on the photo and hit download. What else am I supposed to do? What more could I possibly do?
I'll look it up. Jesus.
Just Google gold-plated Wii.
Gold Wii. All right, so I'm looking at this Wii right now,
Mm-hmm.
and to be perfectly honest, it kind of looks like it's just a really well placed, like gold. Oh crap! What is that stuff called that you can basically lay down some glue and then put the gold on it? Gold leaf.
Gold leaf?
Yeah. Kind of looks like a really, really well done gold leaf.
It looks like it's seen some shit too. At least in the pictures that I've seen, it looks like it's got some scratches and stuff on it.
The one that I'm looking at looks like it's fairly pristine. It's got some dust on it, from what I can see.
Oh, where I thought it was scratched up is actually a reflection. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if I had $300,000, I wouldn't actually buy it.
Uh
I just needed something to lead into the story.
huh.
So I apologize for being a liar, listeners.
Jesus, Brandon. So let me ask you this: what would you do with $300,000? Would you invest?
No.
You're like, fuck no. Be
Fuck
a
no.
responsible adult and try to turn my money into more money? No, thank you, sir.
I would probably take a trip. I'd kind
Yeah.
of be interested to take a cruise, actually.
Well, hell, you don't need $300,000 for that. You can do that for like 300.
A cruise?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe for the ticket, but then you have the flight to get down there, the flight to get back, the driving. I mean, it all kind of adds up.
I mean, that's only maybe another $180. I bet you could go on a cruise for under $500, Brandon.
You think so?
I think so.
Counting flights and everything?
Yes. I think if you planned it
For what,
accordingly.
like a 3-day cruise?
Let's see here. 2 to 5 day cruise deals on carnival.com. Reduced deposits from $50 per person. 6 for a 2 to 5 day cruise deal. 6+ day cruise deals. Reduced deposits from $99 a person. Let's see here. Up to 40% off cruise rates. Sailings through April 24th. This one's $300 Western Caribbean from Tampa, Florida. So it goes Tampa to Key West to Montego Bay to Grand Caymans and then ending back in Tampa for $300.
How many days?
6. Average per person 2 guest room. So I don't know if you'd have to have at least 2 people to do it, but it'd be $300 a person, which that's not that bad.
Yeah. I would, if I went on a cruise, I would definitely want to go with somebody else. But I would want to go with somebody who's not judgy, because my entire plan for the cruise would be to go on the cruise, eat the buffet food until I got sick, and then lay in the room.
Okay. I mean, if that's what you want to do.
Dude, I love staying in hotels. I really do. Like, I love when I go on a trip to just hang out in the hotel room where it's nice and cool and everything's clean and soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That's not a
not gonna
joke.
I'm not gonna disagree with you. Like I feel like that is very enjoyable. It's just you said it with such passion.
I'm genuine. I love hotels.
That's funny.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
a weird-
Speaking of, too.
Weird guy, Brandon.
I know.
Pope.
I'm a weird guy. I'm a weird guy. I moved. I forgot to mention I've got a new apartment.
Oh yeah, you did that too. I even helped.
Yeah. You did. I had a lot of people help me. It was pretty cool to have my friends come out and help me move. I had
Yeah,
you,
for
my
sure.
brother, and Ethan all helping me.
I don't know if I'd say that I was that much help, but I helped you visualize stuff, I guess.
You helped me visualize and you helped me move my couch around and shit, so
Yeah.
I would count that. I mean, you didn't help as much as Ethan, so Ethan's a better friend than you are, but you still
Oh yeah,
helped.
for sure. 100%.
As far as power rankings go, Ethan moved up and you stayed the same.
Yeah. Which is fair because I sure as shit didn't want to carry anything large and heavy down the stairs from your previous apartment.
Yeah, my death stairs.
Beside that, I would have taken the time to rig up a bunch of rope so we could just use it as descender lines and just put this stuff over the side. And
So what could have been 2 hours of moving would have been put into like 6 or 7 as you were.
As I was fucking around with rigging, yes.
Yeah, creating these elaborate pulley systems for one story that I have to carry my fucking couch down.
Yep.
Hold on, guys. Let me finish tasting my own cum, and then I'll create some sort of rig for you.
Why am I eating? Why? Why do you gotta take it all the way to there?
Hold on, guys. I put it in a water bottle,
It's
like
not
Crystal Light.
It's not enough to just say jerking myself off. No, you gotta take it to the nth.
Yeah, no, you're definitely eating it.
You're gross.
I know. I'm very gross. I know. So
hope-
that's my story.
hope-
What do you got, Ram?
I hope you and I go on this cruise so I can push you overboard.
God, as far as nightmares go, falling over the edge of a ship has to be like one of the worst nightmares for me.
Really?
No, I
Why?
mean, like in the scale of things I'm afraid of, being pushed over a ship is not high on the list.
Oh, okay.
But imagine like being pushed over the side of a ship at night as the ship drives away and there's just nothing you can do. Just dying alone in the ocean.
Yeah.
No
I mean,
buffet in sight.
Yeah, it would be a pretty shitty way to go.
At least drop some crab legs over the edge or something. Some crab cakes.
I mean, just swim down to the bottom and get your own crabs. Asshole. Fucking selfish.
So when they find me in the ocean, I've made a makeshift raft out of driftwood, and I'm just eating crabs. Somehow
Yeah.
I've got salted butter.
You've made it from the milk of seagulls.
Ew.
How you were milking seagulls, nobody has an idea.
And I refuse to say.
Especially considering the fact that they don't make milk. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you milk these seagulls? What?
They test it and it just turns out to be seagull blood. That you somehow figured out a way to make butter out of. Mixing it with the bird fats.
God damn, are these crab legs delicious?
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so if you fell over a ship and you survived by making a makeshift raft out of driftwood and hunting crabs for crab legs, would you make it to the Ellen DeGeneres show, you think?
I guess the question would be, would I want to?
And what's the answer to that question?
No.
You wouldn't want to be on Ellen?
No, and the reason being is because she apparently has a very acute sniffer, and I don't want to stink around her. Because then she'll turn into a bitch and abuse her staff. And I don't want to do that to somebody else.
How do you know that she has an acute sniffer?
Because apparently that's one of the big grievances for people who were talking about how horrible of a boss she was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she would just straight up tell you that you stank.
Man, at work I have to lift dinosaur ribs a lot.
Yeah?
Like the Flintstones, and by the end of the shift, I am pretty stinky.
Yeah. Well,
I put on deodorant, I spray myself with cologne, but at the end of my shift, I catch a whiff of myself, and I'm like, man, I really got a problem.
do you use stick deodorant or spray?
Stick deodorant.
There's your first mistake.
Spray deodorant's the way to go.
100%. That's what I've been using for years.
Do you spray it under your armpits?
Yes, I do. Everybody's
I
like,
don't know,
oh,
aerosol's so bad.
aluminum poisoning. Oh, aerosol. Fuck it. At least I don't smell like BO. There's no CFCs in it. It's not eating the ozone layer.
So you would trade aluminum poisoning for not stinking?
I mean, I ain't dead yet.
God damn, that's a good point.
Yeah. If it was that bad for you, they wouldn't keep putting it out there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That took a weird
So
turn,
yeah, what do
didn't
you
it?
got, Ren? Yeah, it did.
just awkward silence after that one.
You were supposed to pick up with a story.
I don't have anything to follow up BO, Brandon. Wait,
Well, let's
speaking
reverse
of...
it.
Hold on. I got it. I figured it out, Brandon. I got it.
Okay.
You ready for this? You ready for this fucking segue? You ready for this shit?
I've never been more ready in my entire life. Drop it
Goddamn
on
right
the rim.
you ready. All right. Speaking of big old stinky turds
Okay.
and BO of an idea, Amazon's
Okay.
Lord of the Rings is under fire to keep the nudity out of the show. So if we recall, Bucky has talked about this once or twice, that they're bringing a Lord of the Rings show to Amazon Prime, Amazon Video, or whatever the fuck they call it now. And there has been reported scenes of some nudity in it. And Bucky seems to be pretty well fully against it, which I can say that I'm not like vehemently against it, but I just don't see the point in including it.
They're trying to do that Game of Thrones thing.
Yeah, they're trying to be Game of Thrones with Lord of the Rings, and that's not what it is. And that's annoying at the very least. Because if you're going to create a video series based off of writings, it seems to me that you should try to at least be relatively true to the writings. And nowhere that I am aware of does Tolkien talk about nudity.
See, I'm perfectly fine with it. I want to see Bilbo's swinging hog. I want to see him running through the Shire and his dick just scraping the grass.
Right, you just want to see that whether or not if a hobbit gets hard, he can lean forward and cause a tripod effect, right?
Exactly. That's whenever I've seen Lord of the Rings, that's always in my mind. I'm like, man, how big are they dicks?
The you've been on a dick kick a lot, Brandon.
Well, let me mix it up then.
I don't know if
I
you're
also
fully
want to
aware of this.
I also want to see the Balrog with huge breasts.
See, there's a horrifying image that I can get behind.
See, I want to mix it up.
So, a Catholic memes community has banded together to see that Amazon's upcoming Lord of the Rings show will be based and chasted. The petition on change.org already has almost 38,000 signatures, with the global being 50,000. The petition claims that Amazon has hired intimacy coaches and has asked the actors to be comfortable with doing nude scenes in the castings. It goes on to say that Tolkien's work is truly wholesome and packed with incredible Christian symbolism, which is relatively true. I don't know if wholesome would be the word, especially considering the fact that a lot of the experiences that he was writing about were kind of based off of his experiences in the World Wars. But there is certainly some Christian symbolism going on in there. The article continues, it is certainly true that Tolkien was indeed a devout Catholic, but this goes more in a hyperbolic way in stating that his memory does not need to be stained with gratuitous nudity or even nudity in the slightest. Tolkien's work have been family friendly, most notably with The Hobbit, which is a children's book. However, taking the themes from 3 volumes of The Lord of the Rings, there's a lot more content geared toward adults. Even as late as 2001, when the movies premiered, The Lord of the Rings was actually banned in several churches and deemed satanic. A church in New Mexico even held a book burning event and has been challenged numerous times throughout its publication history as being anti-Christian. The books were usually paired with the Harry Potter series since the movies hit around the same time. Tolkien's estate itself hasn't laid out any particular guidelines with morality clauses for the show, but more like what the show can and can't show in the timeline of the events of the books. So far all we really know is that the First Age is completely off limits.
What does that mean?
The First Age is like the First Age of Middle-earth. I think you're asking the wrong person. My history is pretty much all in the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit is what I know about. I started to read the Silmarillion at one point, but it is a bit of a slog to get through.
Yeah. See, that's how I feel about all of Tolkien's books. They're just slogs to get through.
I feel like you just hate reading.
No, I don't hate reading at all. I just feel like he takes forever when he describes shit. I like the Lord of the Rings movies. I like the world that he's created. I just don't like the way he describes that world.
He has been known, I mean, as far as like literary prowess goes, he has been known to not do a ton of character development.
Yeah.
You know, it's really just, this is so-and-so, son of so-and-so, lord of so-and-so, and that's all you get, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that in a way is not very good writing. Even the main characters, Bilbo, for instance, he has some character development, but by and large, he sticks to his own moral compass. You know, there's no depth of change or hard challenge of, you know, what happens when he gets the power of the One Ring.
Yeah, that's true.
And really, I mean, until he finds out that it's like this magical like super weapon or whatever, all he does is just use it for invisibility. And that's the other thing, is you don't really know what all else the One Ring can do.
Have you read Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Because in the movies, all the ring really does is turn you invisible.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing more to it, really, is there?
Not that is really outlined, no. Now, it very well could have been in other books. I only know the story of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure Bucky is like white knuckling it right now.
Yeah.
At his desk or wherever he is, like, oh, these guys. I wish
Yeah.
I was on.
Yeah, I'm sure Bucky is. But, it is what it is. We didn't think to ask him to come on, and sure as shit didn't know that we were going to be talking about this, so
Yeah.
tis what it is.
Would you really consider The Hobbit a children's book, though?
Um, let's see. If I remember correctly, he did write it for his son while he was at war, or shortly after coming back, where he had all the ideas for it. If I remember correctly, I think he would write him like chapters of it and just send it off to him in mail call, and from there he came back home, and then I think somebody talked him into just making it a book. So he compiled it and tightened it up and went from there.
Oh, thank you, Papa, for this long, boring book.
Come on, man.
Thank you for describing a tree for 8 pages, Papa.
This is the love and hate that Brandon was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
No in between.
Nope.
What do you have
I have a hatred for Tolkien.
other than that, story wise? Since
Story-wise,
you
okay.
apparently have no qualms about the nudity in it because you don't care about the story. What do they call that?
Integrity,
No,
sanctity,
no, nothing so grandiose. I don't remember.
grandiosity.
No.
Yeah, I have no idea. No, I mean, I'll watch it, or I would watch it if I had Amazon. I probably won't because I don't have Amazon Prime. But yeah, I have no problems with the nudity as long as it's tastefully done. I mean, if they're just throwing in nudity just to throw it in, that
Mhm.
doesn't bother me on a moral level, but it would bother me on a level of like being manipulated. You know what I mean? Like them just throwing in nudity just so they can say they have nudity. I don't like
Yeah.
that level of manipulation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in my eyes, it just seems like an unnecessary thing. There's no reason to have it in there.
Yeah, I would agree with it being unnecessary, but at the same time, I don't mind it too much.
Right.
But anyway, what I have for my next story, speaking of nudity, Remington, this
Okay.
story has nothing to do with nudity.
Oh,
That was my segue.
that was a good one, Brandon.
Thank
We're
you.
really
This
really
is
pros at this.
this is from May, so it's an older story, but I thought it was interesting. Target is stopping selling Pokemon, MLB, NFL, and NBA cards out of
Who
an
is?
abundance of caution.
Who
Target.
is? Okay, why?
Target. Out of an abundance of caution.
Caution for what?
There were some videos where some guy got jumped in the parking lot of a Target because he had some sports cards. And there was also
Yeah.
videos of people going into Target, into the sports card or into the card area and just buying up hundreds of sports cards and Pokemon cards and like fighting with each other.
Yeah. I mean,
So
to be fair, I have a lady who comes into the store and she ships cards, and she's literally just flipping them. So for whatever reason, somebody can't get those specific things that she's buying, wherever they are, and she just goes into a store, buys them, lists them, and then sells them for like twice what they're worth.
yeah, that's what a lot of people were doing. Trading card games exploded in the last year with everybody staying inside. People
Yeah,
going through their collections and trying to make some extra money selling their cards.
yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Hmm.
You
See,
can still
that's
buy cards through their website though.
yeah, it's very peculiar to me.
I think Walmart stopped too. I don't know
Huh.
for sure, but I saw that Walmart was at least considering stopping selling.
I
For a
guess
while, Target would only sell them on Fridays from like
mhm.
noon to 2.
I guess I just don't understand it. Like, it's one thing that, we had a shortage, quote unquote, of like graphics cards,
Yeah.
you know, whether you believe that the shortage was real or fabricated is a moot point. I mean, it existed, and people were waiting around for, waiting outside of Best Buys and shit for the trucks to come in to buy their graphics cards. But trading cards, I mean, it just it strikes me as one of those things that you could simply just buy online.
Yeah, you're just paying a shit ton more. If you go into a Target and you spend $200 and just buy boxes and boxes of Pokemon cards, there's a good chance that you're going to get something that you can resell and make your money back pretty easily.
Right. I was thinking
Now,
more like
buying,
baseball cards and or things of that nature. Because there's
yeah, that's
definitely
true.
more money. There's definitely more money in the trading card games, I feel like. But even still,
For
like
sure.
what she brings in is usually trading or like baseball trading cards, and that's kind of what I don't get. Like I remember when I was a kid, mom would buy me, they were Don Russ 1990 baseball cards, and I had 2 or 3 complete sets. And the idea is that sooner or later they might be actually valuable.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're still sitting at mom and dad's or if they're worth anything or if they were out in the building when the building started to collapse and they've got all waterlogged and gross or whatever. All I know is that there has been a resurgence, but I haven't cared enough to even look to see if that complete set would be worth anything.
Well, it's just like last week I messaged you and I was like, hey, you have this magic card that's worth $700.
Yeah,
And you were just like, oh, cool.
yeah. Yeah. Just like,
There was
oh,
nothing more to it than that.
that's a neat thing that I have.
Yeah.
But to be fair, that magic card looks really cool.
See, if I was sitting on a card that was worth $700, I would be selling that shit on eBay immediately.
Well, to be fair, I'd have to actually find where in the hell I put my cards.
Yeah.
I am not entirely sure where they are. No, I take that back. I do know exactly where they are.
They're in the closet in Ginger's office, I think.
Not in the closet. They're in the mom and dad's old entertainment center. But yes,
Oh, yeah.
you're close. You were close, Brandon.
I know. I'm always close. That's my secret.
But yeah, I mean, you're right. I haven't taken the time to go look to see if because the stipulation I think it was is that it was a foil card,
Yes.
and I am not 100% sure if the version that I have is a foil one or not.
True. If
I
it's not a
think-
foil, it's only worth like $60.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll dig it up and see if it is. I definitely have a what was it? Rofalos?
Yeah, Rofalos.
Rofalos Llanowar Emissary. I think I can picture it in my head, and I think it is foil. I don't know. Maybe
felt
I'll
like
go
it
look,
was.
Brandon. I'll go
You
look,
should.
and if I can sell it for up to $700, then I'll give you a $50 finder's fee.
Oh, shucks.
because I'm greedy, and the rest of it'll just go back into the fucking podcast anyway. So.
No, it won't. The rest of it'll go into stocks and dumb shit like that. I'm really harping on your stock investments today.
I know, right? Like I think before we started, I told you that I had bought some new ones, and now you're just all crapping on my investments.
It's fresh in my mind. I don't know. I have a problem. I feel like I'm just afraid of growing up, you know? Like my friends are buying stocks. I was talking to another friend who has a good job at Amazon and he was like, "Yeah, I'm looking at 401ks and shit." And I was giving him shit for it too.
Do you think it's just a silent jealousy?
Probably. I'm a pretty jealous person overall. So I think it's safe to say that there's a good helping of jealousy in there.
Well, I tell you what, buddy, you don't have to be jealous of me.
I'm not jealous of you. I'm jealous of your stock buying options.
I mean, literally, you can download Robinhood and buy some stocks for like $5. So
True.
you could start collecting stocks like you collect magic cards.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, man.
Or Pokemon. I gotta catch them all.
Yeah, for sure. That's the best way to look at stocks. You just got to treat them like Pokemon. You got to have one of everything. And then when you're buying either Google or Amazon, you know you've made it.
Are Google and Amazon pretty pricey? I mean, they have to be pretty pricey stocks, right?
Yeah, actually, what the cool thing about Robinhood is that you can buy partial stocks. So I own some Amazon stock.
Ooh.
Yeah, I own 0.0000%, 0.003% of a share. Amazon right now is at $3,264.11 per stock.
Jesus.
Yep. And let's see here. Over the past year, it has shot up about $1,000.
Wow.
$800, it looks like.
Speaking of Amazon, though, I ordered some stuff off Amazon and it was going to be delivered Thursday. And then I got an email saying that it shipped early and it's going to come Wednesday. And I felt like it was Christmas.
Oh, yeah. I love it when that happens.
Yeah. Especially because I got free shipping and I almost paid for the $7 shipping to get it today. Because I knew I was off, so I wanted to get it today. But I was like, nah, I should really save my money.
What'd you get?
I got some studs, like those metal studs that you can put into jackets and shoes and stuff, like those punk studs.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And I found a website, or not a website, I found a dealer on Amazon who sells magic cards, like rare cards.
Uh-huh.
And I got like a bundle of rare cards, 61 rares for $25. Now they're
Is it just a random assortment, or?
Yeah, it's a random assortment. None of them, from what I read, they were from all the reviews were like, don't buy this if you want to try to flip them, because all of these rares are like 25-cent rares.
Yeah, just garbage rares.
Yeah, so I'm not buying it for an investment. I'm buying them because I like having more cards in my collection.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
You want to hit me with another story, buddy?
Yeah, man, let's do that. So, speaking of things that we like, we all know that I'm a fan of anime. And if you didn't know, I'm a fan of anime. And I've had, whenever somebody asks, what's your favorite anime? I'm a little old school. I grew
Cowboy
up.
Bebop and Trigun, right?
Yep, Trigun and Cowboy Bebop. So Trigun was always like my personal favorite, and then if I had to name one that everybody knew about, it was Cowboy Bebop. Because not everybody liked Trigun as much as I did. I loved the premise of it. Anywho, I think we had talked about before that they're doing a Cowboy Bebop live action.
Yeah, with the guy from Harold and Kumar, right? I can't remember his name, but the guy who played Harold.
Yes, that man's name is John Cho.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It also is starring Mustafa Shakir from Luke Cage or The Deuce as Jet Black. And also Faye Valentine is being played by Daniela Pineda of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom fame. I'm sure she's done other things, but this is from the Polygon article that I'm looking at. And then for those of you who know the show, the main character, Spike Spiegel, used to be, I think he was in it was either a military, I think he was in the military, and he had a longtime partner, and then that partner turned into a rival. And the rival's name, whose name was Vicious, played by Alex Hassel from Suburbicon. And hopefully we'll be able to stitch that together to where it works.
Yeah.
They're also bringing an actual corgi in to play Ein.
Oh.
And the anime, and I think actually before that, the manga beforehand was created by Shinichiro Watanabe. When it was made into an anime, they got Yoko Kanno to do the lion's share of the music for the show, and it's a lot of really cool jazz and stuff like that. They are bringing Yoko back to do the music for this as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Cowboy Bebop is pretty well known for its themes and music.
For sure. And I'm really interested to see where they go. Like if it's just going to be a live action retelling, or if it's going to be, I don't know, something else. This article goes on. This is from Polygon. It talks about a lot of different just things throughout there, but it goes on to say, well, the casting for the series is as good as anyone could have hoped for. There's still significant reason for fans to be wary. Live action anime adaptations don't have a great reputation, especially when Netflix is involved. The fact that Cowboy Bebop has also grown into one of the most beloved series of all time doesn't make it any easier. But assembling a cast of actors who seem perfectly suited for their roles is a good sign that's certainly going to help fans rest a little easier. The Netflix version of Cowboy Bebop is set for 10 episodes, with the first penned by Thor Ragnarok writer. God, Ragnarok is really hard for me to say right now. Sorry. Christopher Yost. The first 2 episodes of the series will be directed by Alex Garcia Lopez, who has also directed episodes of Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Cloak and Dagger.
Does it say when the show is going to air?
It's set to premiere this fall on Netflix.
Nice.
Yeah, and the original anime spanned 26 episodes. So I don't know if they're going to be cutting stuff out or if they're just going to be focusing on specific storylines, because there were a lot of things that were almost kind of filler episodes within the original anime. Of course, if I remember correctly, I think it spawned 2 or 3 movies. I think it's just 2, but I could be mistaken. There could be 3 Cowboy Bebop movies.
Would you rather they create their own story or they follow the original anime?
I don't honestly know. I think that it's kind of important to do at least the overarching storyline of Spike, because when you're first introduced to Spike, you don't really know much about him, and there's a fair amount of character development that happens throughout the series, specifically for him. There's some for the other characters as well. In fact, my username on a lot of different things is either Black Dog Serenade or Stray Dog Strut, which are 2 Cowboy Bebop episodes.
Oh, really?
Black Dog Serenade is the one where Jet is basically hunting down somebody who screwed him when he was a police officer beforehand. And Stray Dog Strut, I think, is the one where they eat magic mushrooms.
Oh, yeah. That infamous episode, or famous episode. I guess it's not infamous because it's pretty well loved.
Sure. Yeah. I think that one's Stray Dog Strut. That could be a different one, though. No, actually, I am mistaken. Stray Dog Strut is the episode where they introduce Ein, hence the stray dog portion of it.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that one was a really fun episode as well, because you basically get to see you basically get to see Spike chasing down a bounty all over Mars, while the bounty is trying to retrieve the dog, which was a dog that was part of experimentation to increase mental capacity, if I remember correctly. And the crew of the Bebop have no idea that that's what Ein's history is. So for the rest of the show, there's Ein throughout the entire show, just enjoying life as a dog with above average intelligence can, and they are none the wiser.
Is this show one that will inspire you to get Netflix finally?
I'm allergic to nets.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I am incapable of flicking, so it's just a constant reminder of my failures as a human being.
I'm sorry I brought that up, man.
It's okay. It happens.
So I take that as a no, that you are not going to get Netflix even when one of your favorite shows is being redone.
I don't like to do anything, Brandon.
You watch TV with Ginger all the time. Just get fucking Netflix.
Listen, man, that's hard.
It's literally putting in your credit card information
my
and
account,
clicking.
and it's real tough. No, Fuck, man, I've had access to Disney Plus, and I still haven't gotten around to watching. Still haven't got around to watching Mandalorian.
And you have Disney Plus?
I have access to it.
Ah, wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge. Sign 'em all. Could be taken on a holiday. Candid photography.
Back to the
Some
Monty
more
Python.
Monty Python. Yep.
Yeah.
It is a staple in my life, Brandon.
All right. So since we're on TV and movie news,
Yeah,
Rob
that's
Zombie
almost
is,
all I have.
Rob Zombie is directing a new movie.
Okay.
Have you seen any of Rob Zombie's movies? Any of the Devil's Rejects or whatever they are?
I've seen bits and pieces of one or two of them. It's not real. I'm not a big horror movie fan in general, and I couldn't care less about Rob Zombie's directing. I enjoyed his music, but I couldn't care less about his directing.
Yeah. Well, maybe you'll care about this. He's directing The Munsters.
I did like the Munsters.
So now you're going to see it through the lens of Robert Zombie.
Robert W. Zombie. What's the W stand for? Nobody knows.
Robert Zombie. He put out a message where he said, "Attention, boils and ghouls. The rumors are true. My next film will be the one I've been chasing for 20 years, The Munsters. Stay tuned for exciting details as things progress."
I don't know what he's going to do with that, because, I mean, The Munsters was a lighthearted comedy just focusing around Universal-esque monsters
Yeah.
living living everyday lives.
Let me say something a little judgy here. I feel like people who really like Rob Zombie movies are the same people who really identify with the Joker. You know what I mean? Like, because the Rob Zombie movies, I've seen Devil's Rejects. I haven't seen From Hell or whatever the other ones are. But it's all about like dark, shitty people that are sort of misunderstood doing dark, shitty things.
Right.
Which is basically what the Joker is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure because, like you said, the Munsters was pretty lighthearted.
Yeah.
So is he going to have like Herman Munster ripping people apart and Grandpa feeding on people?
Yeah. I don't know. It's very weird. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait to see where he takes that, because, man, it could go all kinds of ways.
I'm not going to judge it until I see a trailer, and we're probably pretty far off from a trailer since he just announced that he's doing this.
Yeah, for sure.
But I like to judge things I know nothing about, so I'm just going to say don't go see The Munsters because it's going to be stupid.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the point of having a podcast, is to wax on about shit that you don't know anything about.
Yeah, because we
that's
have a
what
podcast.
We've done for 212 episodes.
All of our opinions are sacrosanct, and we can say whatever we want.
Damn right, this is America.
So yeah, not a long story, just one that I thought was interesting.
Speaking of people who should probably stop making movies and TV, Mike Myers is set for a new Netflix Illuminati comedy where he plays at least 7 different characters.
Wow.
Yep. The show is called The Pentaverate. This news comes by the way of the official Netflix Twitter account, which tweeted out photos of Myers alongside the news. This is a return to form of sorts for the actor who hasn't been seen on TV or in a movie since 2018's Bohemian Rhapsody, although he does have a number of projects in the works. Quote, Mike Myers will play 7 brand new characters in the Pentaverate, a limited series he created about a secret society who have been working to influence the world's events since 1347, the Netflix tweet reads. Myers will be joined in the series by Ken Jeong, Keegan-Michael Key, Debbie Mazur, Richard McCabe, Jennifer Saunders, and Lydia West. Of course, some of those names are comical powerhouses.
Yeah, I was going to say, so this is definitely going to be a comedy then.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Not much else is known about the series, but considering it's being created by Myers himself, an actor already familiar with playing multiple characters on screen, it could be a hit for Netflix.
What do you think about this? Do you have any? Are you connected to Mike Myers in any way?
I like Mike Myers. I loved Wayne's World. I loved Simon. Yeah, going back to his SNL days where he played the little kid in the bathtub. Hello, my name is Simon, and I like to do drawings. And he'd just sit in the tub and interview somebody else who was in the tub with him.
Oh, is that what Simon was?
Yeah. It's just a kid in a bathtub. Like I said, I loved Wayne's World. Both movies, really. The Austin Powers series was pretty good. I mean, it did kind of go downhill as far, or the further it went. Shrek was fantastic. Of course, it was directed by Disney, so.
Yeah.
But.
Now, wasn't Shrek DreamWorks?
Or, yeah, DreamWorks. Sorry. Not Disney at all. The opposite of Disney. The antithesis of Disney. DreamWorks.
So the opposite of Disney is DreamWorks.
Yes. But there was the what was it? The Guru? Is that what the movie was called?
The Love Guru. The
Love Guru, which is panned across the board as being a terrible fucking movie.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, The Love Guru is considered one of the movies that kind of tanked his career.
Yeah. It's got a 14% on the tomato meter.
Wow.
For Rotten Tomatoes, and a 33% audience score. So yeah, not very good. The Love Guru critics' consensus: The Love Guru features far too many gross out gags and too few earned laughs, ranking as one of Mike Myers' poorest outings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'm sure there's still people out there that love it. So there's that.
I mean, there's 33% of people that love it.
Yeah, not a good stack though.
Not so much, no.
So yeah, I don't know. How about you? Did you feel anything for Mike Myers? Did you like any of his previous outings?
Yeah, I like Mike Myers all right. I never really saw him in the SNL days. That era of SNL, I didn't watch it. Mm-hmm. I think Austin Powers was hilarious, although Goldmember I wasn't as huge of a fan of.
Yeah, the first and the second movie was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's not really a show I think I'd watch because I like Mike Myers as his characters, but I feel like all of his characters are kind of the same.
Yeah.
Like, he has a wide breadth of characters that he does, but it all boils down to, like, silly accent, over-exaggerated reactions to things. He doesn't really play subtle at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Huge fan of him.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Key and Peele has a lot of the same gags.
Yeah.
And I think that it kind of gets played out. Like the awkward staring, like one person in complete control of a situation while the other one is at the mercy of that person's control.
Mm-hmm.
That they do that sketch a lot in just different venues, but it's essentially the same thing.
I mean, I've seen sketches that I really enjoyed by them.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There's overall, it's not a show that I would want to sit down and watch.
Right. I don't even know what season they're in now, to be honest.
Are they still going?
I think so. I think it was on Comedy Central, and there for a long time, people who had Suddenlink did not have Comedy Central. So.
Oh, okay.
And now that we do, I just don't watch anything on Comedy Central anymore. Now that we have it back.
Just get Netflix.
Yeah, just get Netflix. See,
get
Netflix. Yeah, I'll just get Netflix. Then I'll be able to watch Key and Peele and that other show that we were talking about.
Do you have a Blu-ray player?
Ginger has one in her room.
Okay, I got a movie. This is totally off topic, but I picked up a movie at Jurassic Park for $3 that looks pretty good because we sell a lot of like weird Asian kung fu movies for some reason on Blu-ray. And the movie's called This Girl is Badass. So I'm going to let you borrow it once I'm done with it. I haven't watched it yet. I'm hoping it's good, but if it is, I'm going to let you borrow it.
Okay. What if it's
'Cause
bad? Will you still let me borrow it?
if you want to, but I'll let you borrow it with the caveat that it's bad.
Okay. That sounds good,
Let's
Brandon.
see. What do I have? I'm going to skip this story for now and go to movie news more.
Okay.
Yeehaw! Circle the wagons. It's a trailer roundup.
I watched some trailers that I hadn't seen in a while. I don't know. You probably haven't watched many of these because you don't watch a whole lot of movie trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the trailers for the Eternals?
No.
Okay. I should have had you watch these trailers before we started recording.
You should have, Brandon.
The Eternals is the new Marvel movie that stars Angelina Jolie.
Oh, shit, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, we fucking
Wow.
talked about this on one of the episodes.
Did we?
Yeah, we
That it
looked
had
up the Eternals.
That it had Angelina Jolie, though?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Like, I remember talking about the Eternals, but I don't remember talking about Angelina Jolie. That's weird.
That comes out in November. I think it looks pretty good. Actually, I can't even say it looks pretty good. I'm going to be shitty Brandon here for a second. It looks like they're trying to do a Guardians of the Galaxy type thing. And I feel like Marvel has finally hit its saturation point for me, where I'm like, man, I don't even know if I'm going to see that. I just don't care.
Let me watch the trailer real quick.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't really get a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe necessarily from it, but that's just me. I will say that the cast is really interesting. So we've got Angelina Jolie, we've got Millie Bobby Brown, we've got Kit Harington, Richard Madden, Kumail Nanjiani. I always butcher his name, so sorry about that. Ma Dong-seok.
Sorry about that, Kumail.
Yep. Salma Hayek, and just a slew of other people. One that stood out to me is Gemma Chan, and the only reason is because a few years ago she did a show on, what was that network? It wasn't AMC, it was
TLC.
I guess it was AMC. It originally debuted on Channel 4 over in Britain. Apparently it's based on the Swedish science fiction drama Real Humans, where it was basically androids, and they were becoming sentient, and there was a few of them that were like trying to live not as subservient, androids.
Okay.
It was produced jointly by AMC in the US, so, but it was a really good series. She was one of the main synths, is what they called them. It was anthropomorphic robots, and it addressed some really kind of taboo things as well, like, if you have a really hot synth, is it okay for you to fool around with it?
What was their consensus on that? Was there one?
Well, it was a lot deeper than that. It's a really super interesting series. I think you can watch it on Prime. So if you have it, it might be worth taking a look at, because it was, I think we have the last episode or the last season that we still haven't watched because of Ginger's aversion to watching the last of anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. So she's done several things since then, but that's the one that immediately, like, oh my god, I haven't seen her in anything for a while. That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Is it spelled Gemma like Gemma?
Yes.
The next trailer I watched was the new Venom movie. Have you seen that one?
I think I did see that one. This
The
is
one with Carnage?
Venom 2, right? Yeah.
Let There Be Carnage.
Yes. I did watch that one.
I haven't seen the first Venom, but Let There Be Carnage, I'm actually really excited about. Carnage is one of my favorite villains from the 90s.
Yeah, I knew you had a soft spot in your heart for Carnage.
Yeah, Carnage and Venom. I mean, those characters that were introduced, that when you look at them now, they are so 90s Marvel comics.
Right.
I really loved. Just like how Wolverine and Spider-Man are my favorite superheroes. Like, I'm kind of basic when it comes to Marvel comics.
Right.
But yeah, Let There Be Carnage comes out sometime this year. I'm not sure when. They didn't announce it, but they did say only in theaters. So it's not going to be a streaming option.
Which is good. I mean, we're getting back to that normalcy of putting stuff back out in theaters.
Yeah.
I actually, not to derail you entirely, but I just watched Dr. Mike interview Dr. Fauci. So Dr. Mike, for those of you who don't know, he was rated the best looking doctor of 2018, I think, and he kind of launched a bit of a social media career off of that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But I mean, he uses his platform really well. He talks about, health and all of the things that entails, and trying to make people more aware of their health and what is harmful to them in a singular sense, but also in a group sense, with the pandemic. And he's been on tons of different talk shows and stuff talking about this and that and the other. But
damn, he is a good looking guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a really good looking fella. But yeah, if you are interested in the progress of COVID, it is an interesting, I think it was like 24 minutes watch. Just hearing him kind of talk about stuff and listening to Fauci basically correct things that the media kind of demonized him for in some ways.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that I'm just like, I kind of gave him a golf clap for was he talked about how science is change. So the more that we learn, the more that whatever we may have said before could be wrong.
Absolutely.
And that's just how science works. You have to be okay with being wrong because you are, until you've gathered enough data to be reasonably correct.
It's just like how people said, you'd see people who are arguing against masks say, well, Fauci said don't wear a mask, and then he said do wear a mask. It's like he doesn't even know. And it's like, yeah, because we didn't realize how fucking potent COVID was at first.
Yeah, or the fact that, whether or not masks would even make a difference, and then they found out through data that they did. And further, they had fewer, which he talks about in this interview, fewer instances of other upper respiratory problems like the flu and respiratory infections and things of that nature because we were wearing masks. So, yeah, that is the world that we live in today, for sure. Is just people hearing what they want to hear and latching on to that and just holding on to it until their death. As soon as they find some kind of justification for whatever bullshit that they think is right.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is too, is just hunting for justification.
Yeah, instead of hunting for the truth through scientific endeavor.
So thanks for totally derailing my movie talk with your COVID bullshit, Rem.
I know, I'm sorry, but hey, we're on the downward slope, and that makes me happy. I just got my COVID shot today too.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did. I forgot to mention that. But
the first one, or did you get the Johnson and Johnson?
I got the J&J, so I was one and done of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to have to remember to come back in a month and get my second shot. That's honestly what it was. I was just like, I'd rather do this one and done because I fucking won't remember to come back.
Yeah. I got the double shot.
Did you get Pfizer or Moderna?
Moderna.
Okay. Yeah,
the second shot knocked me out for like a day and a half, but after that I felt fine.
Yeah, for sure. That seems to be the large consensus, is that most people are just kind of knocked out for a day or two and then they're better. I tried to go Sunday, I think it was, to CVS, and Ginger set me up an appointment because you had to set up the appointment for it. And so we did the things that we were going to do, and then we drove to Southside because it was the only place that was doing it. And I walk in, and she's like, "Are you Remington?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "I'm so sorry, we're not doing them today. There's only 2 of us here, and I don't even have vials pulled out and ready. We're not able to do it today." And, it had been a good, we scheduled the appointment a good probably 2 hours beforehand. So it was a little bit like you couldn't have just shot me a call or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just straight up canceled my appointment in the computer system, because when I went and at least checked in, later I got like 2 or 3 minutes after I got back into the car, I got a text message that said that my appointment was canceled.
So they
And it's
canceled
just
it
like,
after you came in?
yeah, exactly. And I was just like, you couldn't have done that beforehand to where I could have gotten that text or email or what have you, and not had to drive all the way to Southside for no reason.
Yeah, seriously.
But
So
yeah,
how do you
anyway,
feel?
I mean, I literally just got it a few hours ago, so I'm fine right now. I haven't heard of anybody having too bad of a reaction from the J&J one. It's
My
usually
brother
the
got
second.
it, and he was sick for like 24 hours from the Johnson & Johnson, like pretty sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
When did it start to kick in? Do you know?
8 to 12 hours after he got it.
Okay. Well, I'm sure I'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Speaking of things that look fine, Remington, have you seen the Shang-Chi trailer?
I have not.
Throw that one up because I think you would really enjoy it. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Five Rings.
And the Legend of the Five Rings. I think I've seen bits and pieces of it just in like random articles that I was looking through, but no, I haven't watched the full trailer all the way through.
It looks like something I think you would really enjoy because I know you like martial arts movies.
Yeah, I really
So
do.
Shang-Chi is definitely one of those.
Let's see here. We've got the one from Marvel Entertainment, and then we've got a slightly longer one from Movie Trailer Source.
I would watch the one from
that
Marvel
could just-
Entertainment. The movie trailer source, I think, has like a thing that pops up at the beginning that's like movie trailers.
Actually, no, it just started right off.
No.
Yeah, I've kind of seen like this training montage.
To live your life. And where did that get you? You walked in my shadow. I trained you. To the most dangerous people in the world. Couldn't kill you. Son, it's time for you to take your place by my side. That's not going to happen. You can't outrun who you really are.
Who are you?
Bugger.
We make a good team.
We make a good team. Yeah, I definitely have a large part of my movie heart dedicated to Asian cinema,
Yeah.
and it definitely has some actors that I have not seen before, but it also has Michelle Yeoh. I have seen Tony Leung Chu Wai, who plays the Mandarin. Don't remember what I've seen him in, but his face looks super, super familiar to me. Also has Ben Kingsley in it, who is in Iron Man 3, who Brandon and I both haven't seen Iron Man 3, but we're aware that he was like pretending to be the Mandarin, right?
Yeah.
Played a character by the name of Trevor Slattery. I love Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, Ben Kingsley is awesome.
Yeah, he does, and he does a ton of movies and stuff. Go check out his IMDb. It's a laundry list of movies all the way back to the fucking 60s. Movies and
Shang-
TV series.
Shang-Chi comes out September 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say it now, Rem. We should go see that movie in theaters together.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I think you'd like it. I'm excited about it. And we could have a little friend excursion to the movies.
Okay.
It's a date.
It's a date. Sounds good.
2 more movie trailers I watched I thought looked pretty cool. The Green Knight, which is
Okay.
not a Marvel movie. It's just about the Green Knight from Arthurian legend. The trailer
Okay.
looks really cool for that. And also Black Widow, the final trailer released. It's like a 2.5-minute trailer, and it comes out July 9th, so not too far from now.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's my trailer news.
To follow up on the backs of like movies and television, Star Wars The Bad Batch posters reveal returning Clone Wars characters. The Bad Batch brought back 2 Clone Wars characters in its latest episode, and now those 2 characters have spotlight posters. Previously brought back the Mandalorian's Fennec Shand into animation, played by Ming-Na Wen. Now it's reached back to Star Wars The Clone Wars final season, which introduced Clone Force 99 to pluck the Martez sisters, Rafa and Trace, and bring them into Star Wars' darkest era. Fans will remember Rafa and Trace from the 4-part story arc in the middle of Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7, spanning the episodes Gone with a Trace, Deal, No Deal, Dangerous Debt, and Together Again. The arc caught up with Ahsoka Tano after she left the Jedi Order. She befriended the Martez sisters who lived in the Coruscant's Level 1313. Their parents had died during a skirmish earlier in the Clone Wars when the Jedi chased Cad Bane through the city.
Yeah, Clone Wars and Rebels is like a huge Star Wars blind spot for me.
Yeah, I didn't watch all of the Clone Wars, but I have watched a lot of the other animated series. I think I watched through to maybe season 4 of the Clone Wars, but I haven't gotten around to watching the rest of them. I really like what they're doing with Star Wars. I'm not gonna lie. I know I haven't seen Mandalorian and haven't watched the Bad Batch, but just they seem to be getting good reviews, and I like the continuation of the stories that's not focusing on Jedi.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's a thing that you could very easily fall into is, oh, there always has to be a single Jedi character, and that's not really the case. The Jedi are making like random appearances, and there may be a small story arc about a Jedi, but by and large, it's about these other people who are affected by what has happened in the universe.
Yeah, I totally agree. I like that there's more Jedi appearing in the stories because the Jedi are cool. I mean, whenever I saw Star Wars when I was younger, everybody wants to be a Jedi. I mean, I kind of liked Han Solo and Boba Fett too, but everybody wants a lightsaber and to be able to use Force powers. And to be an adult and see those Jedi introduced again is really cool.
Yeah. Batwing is coming to the CW's Batwoman.
Batwing?
Uh-huh.
What is that? Like the airplane Batwing?
No, the character. There is so I go, okay, this is something Brandon didn't know about. That's cool. Of course, you're more of a Marvel guy, but either way. Batwing is one, according to the Wikipedia for Batwing, because I didn't know if you were going to know about Batwing or not.
Nope.
Is one of several superheroes patterned after the famous superhero Batman. Batwing, in particular, was conceived by Batman as his crime-fighting counterpart overseas. Quote, the Batman of Africa. The first Batwing is David Zambe, a Congolese police officer, created by writer Grant Morrison within the pages of Batman Incorporated prior to receiving his own eponymous series. Following later events within Batman Incorporated and Batwing, David is replaced in the role by Luke Fox, who is the son of Lucius Fox, an American mixed martial artist who had been Batman's first choice in the role anyway. Batwing faces a roster of adversaries ranging from the international supervillains to the Democratic Republic of the Congo's corrupt police force. Batwing expands the DC universe by taking place in Africa, making David both the first in continuity Black Batman and one of the few characters headlining a series outside of the United States. So what's interesting is they're introducing Batwing, and it is going to be Luke Fox who plays or who dons the Batwing armor.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but in the Batwoman series, he is much more like Lucius. He's more of kind of the keeper of the Wayne technologies.
Okay.
They don't really show him being a martial artist of any type. Now, in the, I think it was toward the end of the first season, the beginning of the second season, the Crows, which is like the for-hire police force, a corrupt member of the Crows almost shoots and kills Luke. So we are not caught up on Batwoman 2, but we have been watching it. It is on the DVR for us to watch. With the extended delays that COVID caused for these series, we were out of the loop for a little longer than normal, and it's kind of hard for us to get back into it.
Yeah, with those shows, if you're not watching them every week when the new episodes come out, I can see how that would be hard to get back into them.
Yeah. So, but the first and second season has been really enjoyable. I've liked them. We will eventually get back around to watching them, and now knowing this, I'm really kind of excited to see where the rest of this will go. It'll be cool to see Luke in a black armored suit for sure.
Yeah, that does sound neat. I mean, it won't get me to watch Batwoman, but I'm interested to hear your opinion on it once you get caught up.
Yeah.
I have a story here that has made me super excited.
Okay.
You know, I've talked multiple times on the podcast about my love of old Sierra games like King's Quest, Space Quest, Quest for Glory, all the quests.
Yeah, questing for all the quests.
Exactly. And they were created by Ken and Roberta Williams, especially King's Quest, and then a game that I watched, Phantasmagoria.
Uh-huh.
Well, Ken and Roberta Williams are releasing a new game this year called The Secret, which is like their working title for it, probably because I don't think The Secret's going to be their actual title. I think that's just what they're calling it right now. Their first game in 20 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there's not a whole lot to be known about it. Ken Williams released this information through a guy on YouTube known as the Space Quest Historian, who, not to brag, I'm actually friends with on Facebook. So, you know, not to name drop or anything, but I'm friends with the Space Quest Historian. But yeah, so that's it. It's just, I'm pretty excited about it. There's not much more to the story than that because information hasn't been released, but they've already said that it's going to be in the style of their old Sierra games, like a point-and-click adventure game.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. So be excited because I'm excited.
Well, I mean, I like the kind of at this point you would probably call it an indie game. Yeah. And I like indie games, especially if they're well put together, and doubly especially because it's a team that has a track record of making, you know, pretty awesome older games. So, speaking of games, The Verge calls Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart a next-gen Uncharted by way of Pixar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There were times during Rift Apart, the latest entry in the Ratchet and Clank series, when I felt like treasure hunter Nathan Drake. Buildings collapsed around me as I made my way through perfectly tuned action set pieces, and I'd managed to jump out of the way of each explosion at just the right second. The only difference, of course, is Rift Apart is much cuter. Think of it like a sci-fi family-friendly take on Uncharted. A combination of shooter and platformer, Ratchet and Clank has always been a series closely associated with the PlayStation, and the last game, a 2016 reboot of the original, showed that it could also be a technical showcase. Rift Apart, meanwhile, might just be the most pivotal entry in the franchise to date. Thanks to cross-generation releases, true PS5 exclusives still remain vanishingly rare, even months into the console's life. But Rift Apart is exactly that, a game you can only play on Sony's next-gen console, and one that actually takes advantage of the new hardware. It also happens to be an extremely fun adventure. Though the series dates back to 2002, Rift Apart is largely a standalone story. It stars a fuzzy little fox creature named Ratchet. He's actually an alien called a Lombax, believed to be the last of his kind, and his adorable robot companion Clank. As a nice intro for new players and a refresher for longtime fans, the game starts with the pair being honored for their past achievements in a parade-like setting in front of a huge crowd of adoring onlookers. It even serves as a clever mini-tutorial, but it's not long before the celebration is interrupted when longtime villain Dr. Nefarious attacks.
Man, I want a next-gen system so bad.
Yeah?
I want a Series X hardcore. They're just two-pronged. They're hard to come by.
Yeah.
And they're $500.
Yeah.
So I don't have $500. And I also have no means of finding it.
Right. I'm the opposite. I have no desire to buy a system that I would use maybe once for one game and then put it down and let it collect dust like my Xbox has.
Yeah.
The article goes on to talk about a whole lot of the different aspects of Rift Apart. It states that it's a fairly standard action platformer. There are some nice diversions, including a side story involving a spider bot that kills computer viruses and a series of tricky puzzle rooms that reminded me a bit of the shrines from Breath of the Wild. But for the most part, you're running around and shooting things. It's straightforward, but it works. The gunplay is fun. There's an almost overwhelming amount of variety in the weapons, and lots of cool spaces to move around in. At one point, you're even riding a dragon.
Ooh, I do love dragon riding.
Indeed. But all of this is elevated by how beautiful the game looks and how well it runs. Rift Apart is the kind of game where I keep stopping just to ogle at seemingly simple things like waves in the water or the reflection on glass in a cockpit. It shows the importance of aesthetics and style.
Man, that's how I feel about Final Fantasy. I'll be playing, and this is the first game I've really done this with. I'll be playing and literally just stop and admire the scenery and be like, man, this game looks so good.
Yeah. I should also note that Rift Apart makes great use of the PS5's controller. In fact, aside from launch showcase Astro's Playroom, it might be the best DualSense game so far. In one early sequence, for example, you have to find a dance club in a bustling alien city, and you're able to do it by following the music through vibrations you feel in your hands. I especially loved how some of the weapons made use of the two states of the controller's triggers. One lets you give a slight press to activate a shield, but when you push it all the way down, that shield turns into a destructive blast. It's an intuitive way to add depth to the controls.
Yeah, PS5's haptic feedback in their controllers is crazy. One of my friends, Cliff, has a PS5, and he talks to me all the time about how crazy it feels.
Yeah, which is really awesome. It's a good way to get another level of immersion into the games that you're playing, especially if you're not doing it over a 3D, like an Oculus Rift or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my Ratchet and Clank one. I've played some Ratchet and Clank. I mean, we didn't grow up as a PlayStation family, but I have played some of it. I really enjoyed playing the small bits that I did. I thought it was
Ratchet
a really
and Clank is
kind
fun.
of game. Yeah.
My final story is a new D&D book was announced.
Oh yeah?
We were actually linked to this by Mumfrey on Twitter. It's called Wild Beyond the Witchlight, which comes out September 21st, takes players into the Feywild.
Yeah. I actually figured that you were going to pick this one up, so I passed it on by when I was doing my research.
You did it. I've just been engrossed in D&D lately, working on my campaign that I'm running for you guys and just reading books and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'll be cool. It's definitely one I'm going to pick up. It's based around a Feywild circus that descends upon the world, and it takes place from levels 1 to 8.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's its own campaign.
Speaking of D&D, did you ever get a chance to check out Dungeon Fog?
No, I haven't.
Dude, log in and check it out.
I know, I need to.
It's so much more intuitive of a map builder. I'm not gonna lie. I think did I link you some tutorials too?
Yes.
I think I was gonna say I thought that I did, but you really don't have to pay, like you don't have to pay a ton of attention to them. Just they kind of give you the brief controls that are there, and there's just enough of them that it's a lot of fun to play around with. So what I'm talking about for all of the listeners is there is a website that you can build your own maps for your adventures in, and it's called Dungeon Fog. Can't remember why or how I ran across it. I think it was just because I was looking for a quick thing to bust out a map to show while we were playing.
Yeah.
And I happened across it, and I dug into it after we were done playing because I didn't know how to use it. So I was just like, well, I'll put this on the back burner, and I built out a small section of a crypt that we were in, and it has all kinds of just really neat things. Like you can build out your map, and you can type in like descriptions and all of that, and you can output that as like a PDF that you can just have. You can also, if you're running it like from the browser, you can do fog of war, which means that as you move, you can have other players create an account and join the game, and then as the player characters are moving through the map, it is hidden until they hit those places where they can see down the way. So
yeah, which is really neat.
Yeah, it's super twofold and fantastic, and really, really easy to just build stuff out. So you definitely have to jump in there and look at it, man. I had a lot of fun building the map in it.
I will. Between working and spending my free time playing Final Fantasy, I haven't really been doing a whole lot else.
Right.
I need to. I've just been immersed in this game. I know that you've lost hundreds of hours in WoW yourself, so you definitely understand the call of the MMO.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now I just lose hours working on the website.
Or watching YouTube.
Or watching YouTube, or finding other random things that take my attention away from what I'm actually supposed to be doing. Like editing the podcast. All right, so my final story is from Big Think. This programmable fiber has memories and can sense temperature.
A fiber that can sense temperature?
Mm-hmm. So MIT researchers have created the first fiber with digital capabilities, able to sense, store, analyze, and infer activity after being sewn into a shirt. Yoel Fink, who is a professor in the departments of material science and engineering and electrical engineering and computer science, a research laboratory of electronical principal investor, and the senior author. Whoever wrote this article, like Miss Becky Ham, put way too much information about these scientists into them. Like later on, she lists people who helped, authors who wrote the paper, and she just goes on and on and on and on. So bear with me for a second. Okay. The senior author of the study, Yoel Fink, says digital fibers expand the possibilities for fabrics to uncover the context of hidden patterns in the human body that could be used for physical performance monitoring, medical inference, and early disease detection. Or you might someday store your wedding music in the gown you wore on the big day.
That's cool.
Yeah, Fink and his colleagues described the features of the digital fiber today in Natural Communications, the publication Natural Communications. Until now, electronic fibers have all been analog, carrying a continuous electrical signal rather than digital, where discrete bits of information can be encoded and processed as zeros and ones. Quote, this work presents the first realization of a fabric with the ability to store and process data digitally, adding a new information content dimension to textiles and allowing fabrics to be programmed literally, Fink says.
That's really neat, man. I like this story a lot.
Yeah. The new fiber was created by placing hundreds of square silicon microscale digital chips into a preform that was then used to create a polymer fiber. By precisely controlling the polymer flow, the researchers were able to create a fiber with a continuous electrical connection between the chips over a length of tens of meters. The fiber itself is thin and flexible and can be passed through a needle, sewn into fabrics, and washed at least 10 times without breaking down. According to one of the other authors, when you put it into a shirt, you can't feel it at all. You wouldn't even know it was there. Making a digital fiber, quote, opens up different areas of opportunities and actually solves some of the problems of functional fibers. the other author says. Loke is the last name of the author. I skipped the whole part where she listed everybody on the paper.
Yeah.
Because there's literally like, well, not even fuck them. It's just like there's 12 names or better and all of their accolades.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm not going to slog through all of that. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, scientists. Quit being such nerds.
Yeah. For instance, it offers a way to control individual elements within a fiber from one point at the fiber's end. Quote, you can think of our fiber as a corridor, and the elements are like rooms, and they each have their own unique digital room numbers, Loke explains. The research team devised a digital addressing method that allows them to, quote, switch on the functionality of one element without turning on all of the elements. A digital fiber can also store a lot of information in memory. The researchers were able to write, store, and read information on the fiber, including a 767 kilobit full color short movie file and a 0.48 megabyte music file. The files can be stored for 2 months without power.
Wow.
Yeah. So this article goes on for a few more paragraphs. It also touches on on-body artificial intelligence. The fiber also takes a few steps forward into artificial intelligence by including within the fiber memory a neural network of 1,650 connections. After sewing it around the armpit of a shirt, the researchers used the fiber to collect 270 minutes of surface body temperature data from a person wearing the shirt and analyze how these data corresponded to different physical activities. Trained on these data, the fiber were able to determine with 96% accuracy what activity the person wearing it was engaged in.
It's the fucking future, man.
I know, right? Did you follow all of that? Because it is a little like...
Yeah, I followed it.
Okay, sorry, you kind of cut out there, so I wasn't sure if you said yeah.
No, I wasn't saying anything. I thought you were finishing a sentence.
Okay. Adding an AI component to the fiber further increases its possibilities, the researchers say. Fabrics with digital components can collect a lot of information across the body over time, and these lush data are perfect for machine learning algorithms, Loke says. This type of fabric could give quantity and quality open source data for extracting out new body patterns that we did not know about before. With this analytic power, the fibers someday could sense and alert people in real time to health changes like a respiratory decline or an irregular heartbeat, or deliver muscle activation or a heart rate data to athletes during training. So yeah, it's really neat. They show a close-up of it, and it's almost like super thin fishing line loops sewn through a shirt.
Okay.
And it's really neat looking, but at the same time, it does kind of make you question the longevity of it. Let me show you the photo here.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
It looks so futuristic.
It does. It's really kind of neat looking. But it also looks really delicate too. Like, it's one thing, I guess, to be wearing this stuff and, you know, gathering all of this information, but how robust is it, you know? That's what I want to know. Like, can you do a bunch of strenuous crap and it hold up to all of the strenuous crap that you're putting it through?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that was my final story. That was science!
Science news.
Since I didn't have any space news, I had to do something else for it.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
And I think our listeners will too.
Yeah. Speaking of the listeners, that wraps up the show. So I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, or you'd like to hear yourself on air, you can call us at 978 DU-OGRES. That's 978-386-4737. You can also reach us on Twitter at Dueling Ogres, email us at duelingogres@gmail.com, or leave a comment on our Facebook page, like these nice people Brandon go.
We had 3 comments on the last episode. Our first comment is for Mercenary for Hire Chad Good, who says, already working on homemade ketchup. We'll get him yet. Talking about getting me, I guess.
Yes.
There was a lot of comments about ketchup. People People have very strong opinions about ketchup, apparently.
Apparently.
We also have a comment from Viscount Terry W. Irvin II, who says, Remington, get to work on your homemade ketchup recipe. I look forward to episode 419, where you'll report springing your creation on Brandon, and he unknowingly enjoys the homemade condiment brew. And our final comment is from the Diamond Man, Stephen Hines, who says, he's got kind of a long comment. He says, great episode, guys. As for Kevin Smith, his recent movies have been so bad that he'd have to pay me to watch anything else he puts out, which is sad because I'm a huge fan of the stuff he put out in his prime. Harsh words from the Diamond Man, I would say.
Indeed.
The Mars oxygen story is encouraging. We'd better speed up the process of creating artificial oxygen since we're destroying the planet we currently inhabit. One last thing, Brandon. I used to think ketchup was a garbage condiment too. Then my wife had me order a variety pack of CJ Wildheart's gourmet hot sauces, which included his gourmet ketchup. That stuff is so amazing I would marry it, restaurant worker pun, or lick it off a cat's bunghole. Anyway,
I did not see his comment. I saw Terry's and Chad's comment. I did not see Steven's.
Yeah, so Steven would lick ketchup off a cat's butthole. Or bunghole,
yeah, well, at
I'm
least
sorry.
that specific ketchup anyway.
The CJ Wildheart's gourmet ketchup. Anyway, ever since then, I'm on a mission to try high-quality ketchup, and my favorite that I found in stores is Sir Kensington's.
Ew.
Yeah, Sir Kensington's ketchup.
So he went from a ketchup hater to a ketchup snob.
Yeah. And with a name like Sir Kensington's, you know that it's pretty snobby ketchup.
Yes, I am Reverend Sir Diamond Man Stephen Hines, and I enjoy Sir Kensington's ketchups. Gourmet ketchups.
I put them upon my French fried potatoes.
And also my cat's bunghole.
So, yep, that's all our comments for this week.
All I can say to that, Stephen, is run, Ginger Wildheart, run. All right, and I would also like to jump in and thank our beautiful, wonderful, special, awesome, fantastic patrons, Jen James, Ryan, Tatiana, Larry, a.k.a. Mumfrey, a.k.a. Negalary, the Reverend Diamond Man Stephen Hines, the Real Fat Tony, Heavy No More, and Mr. Chad.
Yes. Thank you all so much. It really helps us to get the podcast, to get everything paid for, and it also just makes us feel good too.
Yeah, it does. And it does, like, there is a monthly fee for us to put the actual podcast out, whether I am only able to edit out one or if I can actually get out one a week. And that money goes 100% to helping that, as well as website upkeep and paying for that yearly. The next run of that is coming up in September, so I'm still debating on whether or not hooking up with one of my nerd friends to move us over to a virtual Google server, because that's 100% a thing that we could do to not only save money but have better, more fine-grained control over how everything works in the back end on our website.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I need to set up a meeting with him at some point and really go over all of the stuff that goes in that. It'll be super technical and not something that I talk about on the podcast until
Thank God.
So. But yeah, it's definitely something I want to get into, because we don't generate enough traffic that justifies paying so much a year for hosting on domain.com.
Yeah.
So if I can get that down to a point where, the nice thing about having it on a Google virtual platform is that we'll only have to pay for the bandwidth that we use.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, and that's it. So that'd be awesome. And then
so it'll basically be free.
Right. And that's what I was getting ready to say, is that even if it's a small amount, all of the patrons, that money that'll be coming in that was basically going to be used for paying for the website, we'll be able to go for new different things to either improve the website or get new equipment, or allow us to maybe hire somebody to just do the editing for us so we can just pump out gold and have somebody else take care of the slog of editing. That's 100% something that could happen.
If we get enough Patreon donations, we can buy a gold-plated Wii made for Queen Elizabeth II.
Yeah, we could do that as well. So, I mean, that wouldn't be really podcast related, but I would make you stream it online.
Yeah,
and
I
we'd
could
have
do
a
that.
we'd have a dedicated camera just showing the gold-plated Wii at all times.
I love it.
And one more thing, if you haven't checked out us playing Brandon's campaign, stand for the Fire Demon. Those did I say that right?
Yep, stand for the Fire Demon.
Okay, that's what I thought. My brain shut down halfway through it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm questioning myself now."
Stand for the something.
Right.
Something?
The first 3 episodes are out on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, just youtube.com/Dueling Ogres, or just use the search function. The production quality will get better over time. So I initially started off with just my camera and recording like our screen, because I decided to record them on a whim. So then I built out a nice little overlay that will start to happen in future episodes. So if you can stand staring at just my face for a few hours, you'll be able to see everybody else's miserable mugs in the near future. I am working on episode 4 right now. And I'm going to try and make that a priority if Brandon can make doing the lion's share of the podcast editing his priority.
Yeah.
That way we can both have projects that we can work on. I'm really doing light editing on the D&D stuff, just basically kind of cutting it to where it flows a little better, because sometimes we just have like awkward silences while we're trying to think of something, and it just doesn't flow super well. So yeah, I'm about halfway through episode 4, and I should be able to get it finished up tentatively within the week.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully later tonight, to be perfectly honest, but we'll see what happens after we end.
Yeah, I wouldn't put too much on yourself right now.
Make sure to subscribe on our website at duelingogres.com for news, shows, and articles pertaining to some of your favorite geek news. If you are interested in writing anything for us, just shoot us an email at duelingogres@gmail.com or bloggers@duelingogres.com. That will also work. If you are interested in writing any kind of nerdy stuff, we would love to publish your stuff. Writing.
Absolutely.
That was a little redundant. I'm sorry. I kind of just petered out there. And finally, be sure to leave a 5-star review on iTunes or find us on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Google Podcasts, the other podcast things, places
all
that
of the
have
podcast things forever.
audio things going on. You could spit and hit us in the podcast world.
In fact, I would hope that you would spit on me.
So until next week, ogres, keep your clubs blunt.
And your tusks sharp.
Good night. I hope that you would spit on me. Awkward silence. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Good episode, Ram.
Yeah, for sure. And we only recorded for 2.5 hours.
Holy shit.
Right? All right, recording has started.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Yay!
Yay! Scripperson 212. Adjective of the day. Take your time, word hippo.
Is that a program, or are you calling me a word hippo?
No, there's a site called Word Hippo, but apparently it doesn't want to fucking load.
Oh, okay.
What's this one?
Banazic.
Banazic.
Nausicaa.
Banazic. Not operating on a refined or elevated level. Mundane. Sounds good to me.
Yep.
Okay. Alright, bitch, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, good. Because you're
Never
stupid and
mind.
you don't know how files work.
Oh, Ginger, how I loathe
All right.
thee.
No. Just because she didn't say hi to you, that's not even fair. She couldn't
Yeah, I
even hear
know.
you.
Well, I said hi. I expect a hi back.
Well, hi, Brandon.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
No, I shifted and my underwear kind of bunched up and just like made everything a whole level of uncomfortable that I wasn't cool with. Hold on, I don't think it was Sid. It was Vicious, but I think I don't think it was Sid Vicious.
Yeah, Sid Vicious would be the Sex Pistol singer.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like they made a play off of that.
Smid Vicious. Man, I want. What was that?
I'm clicking the back of my throat. I have an itch.
Oh, okay.